Okay, welcome back to the studio. Today we're going to talk about the Obsessed Garage Dynaudio. We're calling it the, what are we calling it? The Dynaudio Advanced Solution. So this is our two-channel system, meaning that the amplifier is going to be in the box in the middle. The speakers are passive, so they need amplification. They need good old-fashioned speaker wire to connect them versus some of our other options, the studio monitors and stuff like that. And this I think is, this is I think going to be a popular option because this is on the high end, but not so out of reach like the Evoke stuff and doing like the M33 NAD amplifier. This is a bit more realistic, I think, for most people. So when you're building your package, first thing you're going to select are the speakers. And in the advanced package, I'm using the Dynaudio Emits, which I absolutely love. So the Emits are like these are the passive consumer, I guess you could say, or consumer is a bad word for these because they're high-end speakers. But these would be on like the regular house solution versus the pro audio solution, which the LYDs make up. But the tweeter and woofer and the sound signature are pretty similar. Price point, the cabinet is very similar. The front face of the cabinet the front baffle is very similar on LYD and Emit. But these have binding posts on the back and they need an amplifier to work. So the first thing you're going to select when you're building your solution or building your package is the speakers. 10s, 20s. 20s have a bigger woofer. Make sure to go watch the Emit video if you're interested in this. And we're probably going to have several banks of videos on the product page if you're watching it from the package page. But Emits come in black, they come in white, they also come in a walnut finish. So pick your color, pick your size. This is a really simple formula here. You don't have to complicate this. How much money you got? If you got more money, buy the 20s. Go bigger. Having the bigger woofer, as long as you have the space. So if you got the space, you got the money, get the 20s. They sound better. They play lower frequency response. They have more output. The tweeter's the same, so the sound signature's the same. They both sound super smooth, but the size of the enclosure is bigger and the woofer's bigger, which would give you a little bit more amplitude, a little more bottom end. So that's the first thing you pick. Pick your speakers. Next thing you're going to pick is the source component, the amplifier. There are 3 here, but there's really 2 choices. And you could do other options if you wanted to go up to like the NAD M10 or you wanted to do something above that, you could. But I take it back, there are 3 choices. One of them I'm missing here. But the 3 choices are NAD C368, which is this big guy here on the bottom, a Blue Sound Power Node, or the NAD C700, which is brand new, and I just haven't. I didn't have the balls to crack open a brand new box of it. So C700 will fit in here. We'll make sure to put the photos in the description and stuff like that. The setup is identical on all of them. So when I show you how to connect these, there's really no difference. So you're going to select your component. Watch the videos on the power node. Watch the videos on the C700. I think, and if it's me, the combination I like the most with these speakers, this is tough because the power node is awesome. The power node's $1,000, $900. The C700 is $1,500. The amplifier, I'm pretty sure, are the same thing, or they're very close. So the C700 has a digital display, like a fancy screen, where the power node doesn't. So if you're willing to pay $500 more for the fancy screen, you can do that. But the sound, I think they sound very similar, and they're both 80 watts per channel. So my guess is they're the same darn amplifier. I mean, NAD is making the amplifier architecture for these. So I'd say, pick one. But my preference, if I'm doing this, so if you just look at the size of this box, the architecture of how the C368 is made, it's bigger, it's bulkier, things are spread out more. So the source componentry, I just feel like I detect that this sounds better. So if you can fit a 368, I would do this with Dynaudio Emit 20s. I mean, it's just a magical combination. The operating system, Blue OS, that you're going to use, the operating app that you're going to use to connect and stream to this is the same on all of these. It'll communicate back and forth. Let's say you had a power node in your office, and you had an M17 in your home theater, and you had the 368 in your garage. You can handshake, pass back and forth. All the functionality is the same on all of them. But if you're asking for my advice, I'm buying the 368 with Emit 20s and doing a Dynaudio sub 6, and you got yourself a rip your face off awesome system that does really well in the garage because of Dynaudio sound signature. So these, sound not all that dissimilar from the Evokes, which are twice as much money, but they have a cabinet that isn't as pretty. And these are manufactured in China 100% of the time. It's a Chinese manufacturing facility that I believe Dynaudio owns. So the way you set this up, let me flip this around, really quite simple. So pick your speaker color, pick your speaker size, you'll do that in the drop down. Pick your source component, the power node, C700, which I don't have here, or the 368. Pick one of those. And then you're gonna set this up in about frickin' 3.5 minutes. It's really quite simple. So you're gonna take your speaker, I still have the wrapper on it, I still have the little styrofoam thing on here. I'm going to supply you with, I think the way to go is 50 feet of CI rated 12 gauge speaker wire. If you want to upgrade, you can hit us up, or you can go and build the package. Just use the individual components that are in the description. You can buy some Velux cables. The problem is that I think for a lot of your garages and a lot of your applications, if you're not doing this in the office or your home theater or something like that, this probably isn't going to be long enough. And so I'm going to include in our package 50 feet of CI rated cable. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut long ways with your razor blade. That way you don't cut the wire. You just kind of score it, peel the jacket back, then cut the rest of the jacket off, and you'll strip it using some wire strippers that I can do 12 gauge. And I'm going to screw it into my binding post right here. In this case, it would be the other speaker, because that's the left speaker. So you're going to take, and I think what we should probably do also in the package, I'm kind of making this package up as we're standing here. I think we should probably do, let's do this as well. So let's do our speaker wire, and then we'll include a thing of banana connectors as well. That way you can easily banana connect our speaker wire right to it. I'm going to connect to the speaker, plug this thing into the wall. Again, all of these are set up identically, and you're done. So take you 2 seconds. Now I'm going to cut away here to, the reason I'm doing this, the Bluesound Node has the same setup as all of these on my phone. We did some footage earlier, and I've already set all of these up, so I can't walk you through start to finish. So let's cut away to another clip that I made, and we'll come back and finish this up. Blue OS app I have right here on my phone. Blue OS. Takes a second to load because I haven't been using it. If I go home, boom, there it is. Now I've already connected it, so it'll take another minute or so to connect, but there's my node. From a tuning perspective, drop this from your vocabulary, bass and treble adjustments. You can do that on this unit if you go to audio settings here, but I would highly suggest you not mess with that. This is where you would go and turn your subwoofer on or off and adjust the crossover. So it does have a subwoofer crossover functionality. And again, you can adjust tone controls. You can adjust bass and treble. I would suggest you listen to the speakers as they were intended, as they were tuned. Maybe if your room's a little odd, maybe you dial the treble back a tick or two. But don't go in and frickin' jack up bass and treble like an idiot. You're ruining your experience, so don't do that. But you do have a little bit of tone control functionality. That's really all you're going to use on this thing is subwoofer, and you're not really going to mess with the output volume or anything like that. But then, once we're done here, let me close this. The thing I love about the Blue OS app is the playlist. The playlists are actually, I think, better. So you have all these mixes that Tidal creates that apparently are more difficult to find in the actual native Tidal app. But the beauty is now when I'm playing, so when I'm playing, you know, Pussifer here, and I'm playing it onto or through the node, it is native. So this is just a remote control. The actual playing and processing is done with the really sophisticated system on a chip processor, the ARM processor inside of the node. The node is then playing, and it even tells me here, I don't know if you can see that, but see how there's an MQA right there, really tight on the screen. So I'm getting 24-bit, 192 kilohertz audio on my node. Power node functionality is identical. The other beauty of this thing is that I can connect, and why don't we do that? I'll show you. I can very easily connect 2, 3, 4. I can connect up to 64 of these things in my house. Put this a little closer. And have them all show up on screen, have them all play simultaneously, have them all connect, and easily transition back and forth from one to the other. Let's give it a second to power up. I'm pretty sure I've used this one. Taking a second there, boom, boom, just like that, in just a few seconds. So power node, node. So if I was playing, so right now, again, I don't have speakers connected, but right now I'm playing on the node. So if I go back here, this song is playing, and so if I wanted to, I could merge, get out of here. I could merge the power node, so I could add it. Oh, there it's telling me, do you want to do 13.6.2, so it's giving me the option to update the firmware. We'll do that later. And so I could either handshake by hitting the arrow here, and I could pass off my audio over to the power node. See, it switches from the other one to the next. Or I could merge them and play them both at the same time by hitting the plus, and it creates a zone there, and I can do any combination I want of that with multiple players. And so let's say you had a power node in the garage with a pair of Dynaudio Emits, and then you had a node in your, I don't know, in your bathroom or in your office connected to a pair of Zeos. And you could play both music identically. You could play each one individually. You have the ability to play multiple zones, different types of music all across your system. It's really pretty freaking amazing. Okay, so that's how you set up the BlueOS application. On any of these devices, it functions exactly the same. So don't get hung up on the fact that we showed you that the power node, it's all the same. So you're also gonna want to think about, what's your distance. So again, we're gonna put 22, two 25-foot sections should be plenty of speaker wire. It's only 80 cents a foot, so it's better to have more than what you need. You could also pre-wire your garage. You can always hit us up, support@obsessedgarage.com, if you need some help with your pre-wire application. But most of you are gonna have some cabinets. You're gonna take your speakers, put on the cabinet. You're gonna run the wires behind it. This is gonna go either on the right or left side, and so 50 feet of speaker wire should cover almost all applications. Now there's some options you can do as well. So one option is the subwoofer add-on. Now I'm gonna have some more subwoofers. This subwoofer is a little aggressive from a cost perspective for this grouping of speakers. Of this level of speakers, but if you can swing it, if you can make it happen, or maybe add this on later. This is the Dynaudio Sub 6. It's dual opposing 9-inch woofers. Go check out the video on this. This is the subwoofer you want for your garage. It's incredible. And so you're gonna have two options in the drop down. So you can choose, no subwoofer. I guess it'd be three options. Wired subwoofer or wireless subwoofer. And so the wired option looks like this. We're providing you with a RCA to XLR connection, and all of these have a subwoofer out that looks identical. So just pick one of these. So there's our subwoofer out. The 368 has the same thing, subwoofer out. I'm going to take and I'm going to plug this in. We're including a 25-foot XLR cable, which is what you need. And just pick one. I always put it in the right because I'm right-handed, and we've got our subwoofer connected. Plug this into the wall. You're good to go. The other option is to do a wireless connection. So a lot of us in the garage, maybe you want to put your subwoofer somewhere else that's out of the way. My garage at my house is set up wirelessly. My garage here at HQ is set up wired. Just depends. You always want to wire if you have the choice. But wirelessly will look like this. We'll provide you with an OSD audio. You're paying for it, but OSD audio connection. You're going to use the Y adapter that we send in the package. You're going to then plug it into the subwoofer out, which on the C368 is, where is it? Pretty out. Can't see from this far away. Pretty out subwoofer. Boom. Right here. Pick one, left or right. So there's our wireless transmitter, our wireless receiver. Is going to plug in. There's a single outlet here on the receiver, and then in this case, just because it's nice and clean, I'm going to go right and left in. I'm going to go into the DSP software of my sub 6, change over to Emits, and then I've got a pretty awesome, like just incredible system for the garage. Now, I'm hoping to get SVS subs as our entry-level sub option, so we'll have some more practical, this is again a $2,400 subwoofer add-on. We'll still have that as an add-on for the package, but I'd like to have some lower-tiered, lower-cost subwoofers as an option as well. Like a SB or PB1000 or 2000 or something like that, which would be, more appropriately priced. But if you can swing it, a combination 368, Node, C700, either of the Emits. The other thing you could consider, buy the smaller Emits and do a subwoofer. So I'd rather have smaller Emits in a subwoofer than standalone 20s, the bigger ones. And then hopefully we'll have some other options as well for you in the future. Another third, which won't be a drop-down add-on, but a third option would be to do video. The C368 actually has this module over here, this module plate. This is the Blue OS module. Well, we still have an extra module where we can do an HDMI, HDM2, which is their 3-in, 1-out HDMI module if you want to do HDMI switching with the C368 or do any kind of HDMI stuff. So we will have some video add-ons as well. Make sure to go check out that in the click the link that we have set up for our video add-on option in the description of the product on how to set that up. And then the last option, you can always get brackets. This is the white one. They make black ones as well, but they make a bracket for the speakers. If you wanted to wall mount them, you certainly could. Obviously, it's a little trickier from a wiring perspective. You got to get the speaker wire there. But we do sell, and these are the Dynaudio versions. These are the ones you want for these speakers. They're perfectly designed. The only disadvantage is you do have to screw into the bottom of the speaker. The speaker doesn't have binding posts or threaded inserts, I should say, for that. But this will adjust up, down, left, right. And so this is a option that you can get for it. So that's the Obsessed Garage Dynaudio Advanced package, 2-channel package. The last question I think people will have on these is should I do this or studio monitors? If you're a big music guy, you're super into audio, and you're accustomed to running speaker wire and stuff like that, I think that this is the system you go with. You just have a little bit more output. You're going to have more amplitude, more output on a amplifier and then speakers. The amplifier in this is certainly better than the amplifier that's in the studio monitors. But the studio monitors, the LYD series, which would be the equivalent to this, is a little less costly because the amp is built into the speakers, so you don't need, you can save $500–600 by doing it that way. And the studio monitors are designed for a recording studio, which tends to work really well in the garage because they're designed to be listened to really closely, and the garage is a really harsh environment. I don't think you can go wrong with either. If you want some more advice, you can always hit me up, matt@obsessedgarage.com, depending on your circumstances on running speaker wire, and just sort of use your head on logically what would be easier to do in the garage. You're going to love either of the solutions, but and this is going to confuse you even more, in my garage here, I've got studio monitors. In my garage at home, I've got stereo because I want them both. So will continue to refine my opinion or my experience on 2-channel versus studio monitor. I couldn't decide, so I put them both in the store. But for most of us, I think the studio monitor option is going to be the way to go. But this is certainly, if you're a big music guy, I think I would choose this because the extra amplification, you're going to get a little bit better bottom end, a little bit more snap in the mid-range, a little clearer highs. And then also have some more functionality for inputs and outputs by doing something like the C368 or C700 from NAD. The other innocent byproduct, which I forgot to mention, since these are all Class D amplifiers, they run super cool, so it's a perfect option for your garage. Anyway, thanks for your support. Go to obsessedgarage.com if you're watching this on YouTube, and go to the audio section to look for all of our various audio solutions. These will always continue to evolve. I'm really excited about the offering that we have. I've spent a lot of money and done a lot of work combined with 20 plus years of me jerking around with audio. I sold it for 5 years in my early 20s, which it was my life. It's now only maybe 35% of my life, but it's still a big portion of it. So I hope I can help, and I certainly appreciate you honoring the source if I helped you figure out how to buy this stuff. So I guess we'll see you on the next video. More audio stuff coming, but yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. See you soon.